Welcome back to another episode of Shabbat Shmooze. This week's Parsha is Parshat Shoftim. In the very beginning of the Parsha, there are 5 words that for me make the entire Parsha, gives me the lesson that I need to learn only from these 5 words. V'shafetu et ha'am mishpat tzedek, which basically means judge your people favorably. Now I know that it's very hard to do that, especially when you see with your own eyes somebody doing something that looks so wrong. Or you hear a really juicy piece of Lashon Hara, and it's so hard for you to judge that person favorably. But right now, we are in the days of Elul, and we are slowly approaching Yamim Noraim, Rosh Hashanah, where is the Yom Hadin, where every single one of us will be judged. And from this Parsha of Shoftim, we are taught that if we can learn to judge our fellow Jew favorably, then Bezrat Hashem on Yom Hadin will judge us favorably. Probably one of the most famous, most popular stories of being dan lakaf zechut, judging someone favorably, comes from Rabbi Akiva. But this story takes place way before Rabbi Akiva became the Torah scholar that he became at the end of his life. Rabbi Akiva was working for a very, very wealthy man named Rabbi Eliezer. And this Rabbi Eliezer was phenomenally wealthy, had so much property, so much land, cattle, donkeys, a spectacular home. Rabbi Akiva worked for Rabbi Eliezer for 3 years. So he left his wife and children and he decided he's going to work as the employee of this very wealthy man. And finally, the 3 years were up. Rabbi Akiva goes Erev Yom Kippur to receive his wages from Rabbi Eliezer. When Rabbi Akiva approaches him, and now he's sitting in this spectacular palace with countless cattle, donkeys, cows, produce as far as the eye can see, linens with gold embroidered in them. And Rabbi Akiva goes to request his wage for 3 years. And Rabbi Eliezer says, I'm sorry, I don't have to give you. And without even hesitating, Rabbi Akiva says, okay, so can you pay me with land? And Rabbi Eliezer says, no, I'm sorry, I can't pay you with land. And Rabbi Akiva said, okay, can you pay me with cattle? Nope, not gonna pay you with cattle either. All right, how about produce? Can you pay me with produce? Nope, not even produce. Fine, what about your linens? Can you pay me with pillows and blankets? And Rabbi Eliezer said, nope, can't pay you with that either. I have nothing to give you. And Rabbi Akiva quietly packed up and went back to his home. Erev Yom Kippur. And after having worked for this man for 3 years, he goes back home, continues to live his life with no questions. 2 weeks later, after Sukkot, there's a knock on the door. It's Rabbi Eliezer. And he appears with dozens of donkeys and cattle loaded with the finest produce, the finest embroidered linens, and an envelope filled with his wages. And he says to Rabbi Akiva, what did you think of me when I told you I can't pay you after you worked for me as an employee for 3 years? Rabbi Akiva said, I just assumed you don't have the money to give me. Maybe you had a bad business deal and you had all your money invested in something and you lost your money. I don't know. And then he said, okay, so that's the money part, but what about the land? You see with your own eyes, I have all this land. What did you think of me when I said I can't pay you with land? He said, I don't know, I assumed you're just renting the space. Okay, and what about the cattle? He said, I don't know, I figured you have some arrangement with other people and they're not really owned by you. Fine. And the produce? What did you think when I said I can't pay you with produce? He said, I figured they're forbidden to eat. Okay, what about when I told you I cannot even pay you with pillows and blankets and linens? So I figured you probably donated it to the Beit HaMikdash. Rabbi Eliezer started screaming, yes, I swear, it is exactly as you said. Everything you said is true. Every single thing that you assumed is 100% factual. And that is when Rabbi Akiva received everything he was due and then some. From this story, we learned such a powerful life lesson. So many times in our lives, we really feel like we could so easily judge a person based on what we see, what we hear, what we think we know. But what we're gonna work on this week as our spiritual homework for this week's Parsha, we are going to judge our fellow Jew favorably. We're going to remember the story of Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Eliezer, and we are not going to judge the book by its cover. We're going to assume everything is as far-fetched as it seems. We're going to show Hashem, I'm going to judge this person favorably. Please, Hashem, you judge me favorably. It's that simple. May we all take heed of this incredible message, and may we really, really succeed in judging one another favorably, because I think that also falls under the category of Ahavat Chinam, of Bezrat Hashem being metaken, the sin that put us in the galut in the first place. So, homework this week. What you see, what you hear, what you think you know, do not believe it. Judge favorably. And then tell Hashem, in the zechut that I am doing that, you have mercy on me and you judge me favorably this Rosh Hashanah. And may it be a ketiva v'chatima tova for all of us. May we all be signed and sealed into the sweetest, most beautiful, most magnificent year thus far. Shabbat Shalom.